Satanism on the hardcore level without first being a Freemason. And so I found someone, I was sponsored into the Masons, and I became a first, second, third degree Mason. The other thing I had to do, and this might astonish some of you, is I had to become a Catholic priest. I had to go back to my original vocation, because you cannot be a satanic priest unless, first of all, you're a Catholic priest. And if that surprises you, I just suggest that you go and you read some of the medieval literature. And I was made to drink the blood of what I now believe to be a fallen angel, and he in turn drank my blood. And by doing that, something happened to my blood, and I was actually physiologically transformed in many subtle ways. My blood type changed. It became impossible for me to eat. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't drink anything except blood. The only solid food I consumed was the Catholic communion host. And I lived like this for over a year.
Welcome to the Path of Freemasonry sequence.
Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers, is between the Euphrates and the Tigris, and was once the birthplace of culture. Over 2,500 years ago, a huge metropolis arose in the heart of this region, Babylon. The man who ruled over it made the city one of the wonders of the world, and his name was Nebuchadnezzar. The structures constructed by the king of the Euphrates became myths, like the huge Tower of Babel, which was to appeal to the imagination of generations to come.
Gary H. Carr, in his work En route to global occupation, puts it this way. He says there were the ancient mystery religions which come from Babylon, and they were pantheistic, of course, which means God is in nature, God is in everything, which in effect makes us God then too.
The new technology spread from ancient Uruk to the whole of Mesopotamia, extending far to the north. It also spread to the Mediterranean in the west and to the cultural sphere of Palestine. Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom extended as far as Egypt and Jerusalem, a veritable empire.
The Kabbalah is a collection of Jewish magical texts which were given to mankind via psychic communion with a fallen angel called Raziel. Raziel is one of a pantheon of so-called fallen angels who serve the light-bringer Lucifer. The Kabbalah describes the many angels and demons who inhabit the spiritual realm.
Now it is interesting that in secret societies there are always two doctrines. One for the initiated and one for the goyim, the uninitiated. And the Knights Templars had two doctrines. The one was the inside esoteric occult doctrine, and the other one was the exoteric, the one to the outside, and that was Catholicism. So the masses received a religion which the insiders turned on its head. The inheritor of the Templar nuance are the Jesuits. Now the Jesuits, of course, are the ones who behind the scenes control many things. They were founded on the 15th of August 1534 by Ignatius Loyola and were sanctioned by the Pope on the 27th of September 1540. So the Jesuits are the heirs of the occult religion, and they control the world through their agencies. They stand in the background, create sub-organizations, and everybody thinks they are not active. Now, who existed first? Freemasons or the Jesuits? The Jesuits existed first, of course, are very, very interesting, and we'll be dealing with them when we talk about the Islamic connection, what the secret societies actually teach. Just like the Templars had two doctrines, one for the Goyim, the uninitiated, and one for the insiders, and the two diametrically opposed to each other, so the secret societies of Islam do exactly the same thing. But that's another lecture. Now the Templars, they had their secret inner information inculcated in the Rosicrucians and the Jesuits. The Jesuits, again, formed and created Freemasonry. And Freemasonry was created as the Protestant arm of the Roman Catholic Church. Unbeknown to them, beguiled, fooled, if you like, into doing the work that Rome wanted them to do, so that Rome could sit in the background while Freemasonry did it for them. And then it wasn't them, it was them. And it was mainly Protestants that were doing it, and not Rome. Very clever. And people receive the Goyim doctrine and do not know what the inner core doctrine is.
The Kabbalah gives Kabbalists a roadmap called the Tree of Life, which explains how to invoke and communicate with these powerful spirits. The magical information in the Kabbalah originates from Babylon and ancient Egypt at the time of the pharaohs, but did not reach Europe in printed form until the 11th and 12th centuries. The sacred books of the Kabbalah are just a few thousand words long, but they contain complex descriptions of a spherical Earth, parallel universes, and the atomic nature of matter, ideas which have become common doctrine amongst modern physicists and astronomers. How could such complex information be contained in a group of ancient texts barely larger than an average magazine? The answer is that the Kabbalah is written in code. Codes are used to conceal multi-layered complex information which would later be studied by medieval alchemists. Sir Isaac Newton and many leading scientists studied the rich occult sciences within the Kabbalah. There was a time when mysticism, religion, alchemy, astronomy, and astrology were studied as one Kabbalistically based tradition. Jewish physicist Albert Einstein conveyed pages and pages of complex calculations in a simple 5-symbol code. E equals mc squared. Modern-day quantum physics, chaos theory, and the notion of parallel universes can all be traced back to the original texts of the ancient Kabbalah. The higher secrets of the Kabbalah included instructions on how to kill a person with just one look. This is called the evil eye. The magical name for the evil eye is En-ha-Ra.
You've got to understand that the Masonic order is like an onion. It stinks. No, more to it than that. An onion has layer after layer after layer after layer. And the outer layers don't know what's going on in the inner layers. This is the way secret societies are designed. This is the way cults are designed. That's why the typical Mason doesn't have a clue about anything that I'm talking about tonight. And if you're a Mason sitting here tonight and you're saying, this guy is full of beans, let me tell you, I know whereof I speak. It's just that you have not been told any of these things because 99 out of 100 Masons are never allowed to know these things.
There is great satisfaction that comes from being part of a group that shares traditional values, that believes in the brotherhood of man, and in doing good works just for the satisfaction of doing them. That's what it means to be a Mason.
And so, and this is something very important that you need to understand. If you know someone who's a Mason, or if you yourself are a Mason, realize that when you kneel at the altar of Masonry as an entered apprentice, and you take that oath, you are adopted into the family of Lucifer at that moment. Now, you don't probably know that. I did, but most people don't even know that.
It's a nice organization to belong to. Now I have friends from Falmouth, like the Berkshires.
There's a great satisfaction in knowing you've done well, even more so than someone telling you so.
Amongst occult insiders, Lucifer is the true Son of God. Jesus is a second son who was defeated by the first one who had been thrown out. So Lucifer is the true luminary, the victor in the battle, and will be the one who will be worshipped at the end of time. That is occult doctrine. That's always been the doctrine of the Kabbalah, the Kabbalist doctrine, and it has been the doctrine of Gnosticism.
You get involved in the Masons, and if you know certain things, and you know how to say certain keywords and certain signs and certain tokens and certain points of entrance, you are brought into a whole different kind of Masonry that does not involve the normal Masonry that most Masons experience. You begin to learn the secrets of Illuminism. And there's three kinds of Masons which seem to be drawn into the deeper aspects of Illuminism. First of all, those with special hereditary bloodlines and preparation. Secondly, those who come to Masonry already prepared with an occult background. Now, that was me. I was already a witch high priest when I joined the lodge. And I had all these nice little familiar spirits and ascended masters, actually they were demons, whispering things in my ear. And so when I went through the rituals, I would say certain things that would sort of trip off a lever somewhere, and I would be shunted off the main line of Masonry into a little side spur, so to speak, where all of a sudden I would be taught the deeper mysteries, and I would be admitted into the deeper things of the lodge. Then the third kind of person that gets into the Illuminati is those who are perceived as being wealthy, powerful, or the right temperament. Some of these people might not even have to become Masons. People are gradually brought into ever higher and higher levels of seduction. They are prepared emotionally and psychologically to receive the inner teaching. They are taught forms of meditation and mind control, beginning with the spiritual exercises of the Jesuits. Then they are introduced to hallucinogens and certain secret formulations that are used to open the third eye and bring about what is called enlightenment.
We could just summarize it as follows. The old Babylonian religion gave rise to Kabbalism. Via the Essenes and others, Gnosticism came into existence. And
oftentimes when you start talking about the conspiracy, how many of you have heard this? There can't be a conspiracy like this because people can't keep secrets. The government can't even keep anything secret. Well, frankly, I think the government is keeping a lot more secret than anybody really realizes, amen? But beyond that, there's a reason why this can be kept secret, and I'm going to explain it to you from the inside out. What happens here is you've got a whole nest of demons in your mind. And if you even start thinking about betraying the brotherhood, if you even start thinking about going to the media or going to talk to somebody that could be dangerous, these demons know just where the pain centers are in your brain. And they can instantly inflict upon your brain through just electrical nerve stimulation such agony that it makes the pain a woman goes through when she has a baby seem like a walk in the park, without any kind of outside scarring or any kind of bruising or anything. You think you're dying. You wish you would die. And all it takes is a couple of seconds of that, and you rethink your plans to betray the brotherhood.
למה עזרת לו?
כי...
אני לא רוצה להיות הגיוני, תפתח את הדלת כבר, אני לא רוצה חלק מזה יותר.
תקשיב לקולות שלך, עידן.
years on end. There was none that my soul could depend. My soul cries out for your presence in here. This very hour, for your presence in here. In His name I find, in His name I find, in His name